Okay, here we are playing Succession. First action of the turn is the Taxman. I wanted to go into a couple of things, but first thing I wanted to do was touch on something that I know I was mistaken about the role. I don't know if I explained it clearly according to my mistaken attitude. And this is what comes of, burying the rules in so much text rather than very parsimoniously like I favor. If a player plays an intrigue, whether it passes or fail, blame and credit is still assigned, as though it would have. The effect, for example, in this case, Ulysses has got a chance to lose some favor. Well, no matter what, whoever puts the most votes in gets to blame someone for this accusation, whether or not it's believed by the king. All right, let's look at what happened. First of all, the Taxman played a petty thief, stole a card from the royalist to weaken her handing, and then played all candidates with highest standing lose one, and all candidates with lowest standing gain one, reshifting things and making Ulysses weaker. And now he's playing once more on Ulysses because he doesn't really like him, forcing the candidate to lose 3 standing. And he's put 5 money in. He's gone in favor. The ambassador has also gone in favor. Now, this is all written secretly. Nobody knows what's happening. The only other person who bid, the wizard is voting against. Let's see how these go. The wizard threw in 2. He had a card he didn't really want to play, an intrigue that he didn't think was useful. And the ambassador put 3 in favor. So the measure is going to pass. Okay, who gets the blame? Actually, the squire probably would have put 2 in to pass as well. Who gets the blame or whatever? Well, we've got a 5 there, and that's pretty big. So that 5 means he gets to make his choice. Who gets hurt here? But first, Ulysses goes down 1, 2, 3 plus 1 for his bonus, and he's no longer looking impressive at all. And we want to blame someone for this. Well, Taxman's still kind of angry at the wizard. He took his shot at the royalist. He's going to hit the wizard and drop him by 1. And all these cards go away. And we go to the wizard's turn, where things look a little worse, but he still has a lot of money on Galahad, who's a pretty good character. Maybe he can push him forward instead. Let's see. Okay, so when the votes were revealed, there were 2 against by the squire, 5 in the royalist played this enough of you card before they're revealed, preventing the wizard's vote from having any effect. Now he gets his money and his big vote. He was going in favor, but she's also going in favor, and she threw a lot in. Enough to control the vote, no question, and to be able to hit people here. Now, who is she angry at? She's kind of angry at the Taxman, to tell you the truth. So let's look. He doesn't have anything that he's terribly potent with. What she wants to do, she'd love to hit the ambassador on Venetia because he's way up with her. But that's not going to happen. Archie can't be hit, of course. Galahad's votes against didn't come in. So where do we go? Well, let's look at Ulysses. Right now, she feels the Taxman has the lead on Ulysses. It's only fair to get him in trouble with Ulysses on this one. All right. How about the wizard? The wizard is pretty high on Ariana, and that the royalist doesn't like. So she'll hit him there. And then the final one is Venetia. And, well, everybody's about equal here. Hasn't hit the squire, doesn't want to make huge enemies, but spread the damage a little bit. And the wizard's events. Well, he was going to play this, but he got silenced by the other card and decided, no. So now we go on and it'll be the ambassador's turn. And we'll see whether or not I come back on every one. Well, the ambassador went with a big one. He was able to dig a card out. Second-hand goods allows you to buy something out of the discard pile. He took the winners and losers for each candidate. Choose if they're gaining a standing or losing a standing. That's one where if you have the good cards, you can win lots and lots of support from everyone. And he's very close to having maximal support with all of them. So it seemed like a good move, though nobody had a trick card to play on him. But the wizard decided to jump in, and he played Mood Swings, which is going to double the risk here. And he's got 15 votes in favor. Our good friend only has 9, so the ambassador has failed to win this. And let's see what the wizard's going to do with his votes here. First of all, he's certainly going to take the ones that he can. Venetia. Ariana, she gets an extra one. Yeah, he likes that. Ulysses, well, that's not really an issue yet. But what about Galahad? He'll take that. And the wizard's just become very, very important. He's got the Galahad pick. He can't hit the ambassador with it. The squire's been voting negative on everything. He might not be a bad pick here. But the real thing is, no one's really good on Ulysses, except for the Royalist and the Wizard. So we're going to knock him down. He's last in the running now. We're going to hit the Royalist here. Drop her money down. We're not sure what the Squire's up to, but it doesn't feel like he's gaining anything. Alright, and now we'll be going to the Squire's turn. And on the Squire's turn, he played an interesting card. Any number of candidates lose one standing. He's put 4 votes in. No one else voted. Everyone else thought, I don't have enough to control this important card. So they just held off. And they got bluffed by the Squire, essentially. Kind of a funny situation. But let's see what he's going to do. He hits Ariana and has a loss to assign, which he can give either to the Royalist. I think he'll do that. He'll hit the Royalist there. And then he's hitting Venetia, whom he'll hit over here on the Wizard. Not a huge move, but still kind of a surprising event that no one else played for. Okay, now the Royalist played You're My Hero. Gains 2 standings, assign that to Ariana and Galahad for the loss, which means 5 extra votes for Galahad. The Squire again is putting a -2 in. She went in fairly large with 9 votes, but 8 votes in favor for the Wizard, 10 votes in favor for the Taxman. He managed to beat her out and gets the score. Now he's going to take the Ariana score, which is what? 2-3, and she is dangerously close to ending the game right now. And right now, that's in the Wizard's favor. And then the other is the loss for Galahad. Now, who does he want to hit with Galahad? The Wizard is a good choice, and he'll whack the Wizard down one there. But Ariana's position is scary and could well be a victory in the making for the Wizard here. Well, let's start another round over with the Taxman. So we're actually at a pretty interesting point at the start of this round of turns. The Taxman looked and notices that he's got as high a value on Ariana as anyone does, and that she's only 1 point from winning. So he's got a positive card. Now he played Master's Finesse, which allowed him to look through a couple of cards at the top of the deck. He's throwing everything on this. If he can get the highest bid here, and that seems likely, and get this to pass, getting her up there and taking the credit for it, he'll win the game. Question is, how much are other people really aware of it? And how much are they willing to throw in of their own money to stop the first claimant? So everybody came to a deal and agreed to put in what the wizard had on hand 6. It was 5. It may not be enough. All going opposed. So right now, votes opposed are at 6, 12, 18, 24, 25, 26 for the squire. But he's got 10, 25, 26, and enough to do it. Which means Ariana's going to go up. He's going to take the blame for it, or the credit for it. Now, people might have an event that they could throw in play. No, doesn't look like it. So, the taxman managed to pull out a win. It was a close thing. A little bit more money by some of the other players. They could have defeated him, but they didn't. He boosts up. If he hadn't gotten the credit for this, if it had just happened and nothing had changed, we would have had a tie with the ambassador. And then whoever had the most influence left over, not involved in this, would have won. But he got a straight out victory. And, you know, this is the kind of game that in a solitaire play, I don't want to put too much on it, because it does come down to the final play. If things had broken a little differently, and I rolled dice for this, if things had broken a little differently on the deal cutting, if they had defeated him, then what happens? Well, the next person who has a good shot at pulling this off, maybe the ambassador, who would have been at the same level, and is sitting on a card. No, he didn't have anything that could help, but he could have drawn something. Another thing, this deck is getting small pretty quick. So even if somebody couldn't push a win the way that he was able to, it would have ended fairly soon anyhow. It's good enough to see the whole game finish up like this. Alright, I'll be back with a review.